Hey Virgo, it's Meg with Padmes. I'm doing your Tarotscope for October 2020. And this is anyone with Virgo as their sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign. And I am talking to our angels and guides of the highest vibrations of love and light because we don't want to talk to anyone else. I don't want to talk to anyone else anyway. Let's see what's going on for Virgo, October 2020. What kind of energy is around you in present time, Virgo? Okay. The first thing that I'm noticing is you're happening now and into the near future. Your happening now and into the near future is the Magician. This is you coming into quite an ideal situation, but it's also about you manifesting the things that you need, bringing the things that you need to incorporate into your situation in order to make it what it is that you want, to make it ideal. This is you being grounded and you talking to spirit and your higher self at the same time. The big picture is talking about how you perhaps haven't been doing this, Virgo, how you've taken your energy out of the situation, unplugged a little bit. Let me look at that a little bit. Right. It's like I've been action oriented about trying to, well, maybe even rest. I've been action oriented about trying to do some of this, but for whatever reason, you're not plugging in the way that you could plug in. And maybe it more so has to do with, I didn't know how to plug in. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know which way to go with this. So let's take a look at this. Your higher self, Virgo, is talking about you, again, being in this ideal situation or you having this goal. It's like you know what you want. You want this situation. This could be a relationship, but this also could be a work relationship. This could be a project. This could be a relationship with another person. I'm hearing it could be with a child or even a friend. So this is relationship related, but it can also be project related. So apply it as you will. Apply it as it goes with your life, how you resonate with it. But yep, this is jumping out. There's something that needs to move forward. There's something that is needing some kind of a transition or some kind of movement forward. It's not leaving a situation, I don't feel like, but it's more like the situation needs to shift and change and move on if it's gonna go. If it's gonna go, it needs to go. It needs to move on. It needs to get bigger. It needs to evolve. I do see happening in the present time. You've got the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords, but they are both reversed. So that's happening in present time and even in past, present, future. So in the past, it's like there's something about my purpose here that is not, there are like lots of halts. I'm also feeling your throat chakra activated when I'm talking about this, and lots of halts and lots of challenges or hurdles, and it's like you're not able to speak your truth around them. I feel like more so it has to do with, I have this thing, I know exactly what it is that I want, but in the past I haven't been able to put it into words. It's like talking about it differently or saying something about it differently than you were before. Again, I think about this often, but that piece of advice, know what it is that you want and learn how to ask for it. It's like that. It's getting in touch with what it is exactly that you want and learning how to ask for it. The trajectory is talking about connecting with your heart chakra. It's reversed, but in this case, when this card is reversed, it's more about opening your heart chakra, opening to receive the benefits, the blessings, the goodness in life. And I'm still feeling your throat chakra. So having some worthiness about what it is that you want to ask for. Also, looking at your resistance. I am resistant to healing from something in the past, which kind of makes sense where I see that. In the heart of the situation, you're talking about the Eight of Swords and the Emperor. I've gotten to where I have been by values and ideals that I've held so far. So it's almost like I'm a little bit afraid to change or heal something from the past because I'm in a good solid place in other ways that got me here. And so if I change those, I don't want the solidity to be disrupted. Let go of the idea that you're just moving slowly. If you have this type of, if you're having this type of thought process where you can't change anything in the past because what's gotten you here is like the tried and true kind of thing, if you're not willing to change right now, let go of the idea that you're moving forward, but you're just doing it slowly and methodically. It's like there's an actual halt. You've got to change some things around. You've got to change your attitude and change your belief system. The things that were working in the past worked in the past, but they're not going to work the same way going forward. And here is your advice. Your advice is the Lovers. Your advice can be, first of all, a decision, a choice being made in love, but it doesn't have to be made in love. It could be like the perfect choice, the perfect decision that you make in a choice that you have. Let's ask a little bit more about that. And it does have to do with a new solid foundation, a choice in making a new way and figuring out how to create a new solid, stable foundation moving forward. And it's a choice. So here you are, you can choose to stay the same or go about it the same direction, which I don't think that you will, especially with this Magician card here. I think you're going to figure out that there are other resources that are going to help you, and there are other ways to click in and tune in. And the big picture is talking about not being plugged in the way that you can be. And I think that you can be if you think about how to do it differently instead of doing it the same way you've always done it. Your angels and guides are talking about you having some kind of a wall set up in front of you, some kind of boundaries. This is the way I've always done it. This is the way I'm going to do it. Just feeling a little bit skeptical, perhaps, about changing things. But changing things is the way, Virgo. It's the way to go. Let's see. I want to ask, what is it exactly that you need to change? Before I ask that, though, the last card that we haven't talked about yet is the Five of Pentacles reversed. This is coming from this place. So in actuality, there's been some kind of a deficit that you are being recharged from. You're not being recharged from the deficit. You are being recharged since the deficit has occurred. You were drained of energy somehow, and now you're just starting to recharge. So now that you're pulling back your resources that were drained, you're being offered this decision. How do I do this differently so that I can move forward? And this actually does really open your heart. It opens your heart to receiving. Woo! That just flipped out. Receiving all of your amazing wishes that you've been wanting. So you have this idea of what it is that you want. It's like, I want the perfect scenario. The perfect scenario is happening now and it's the near future. That's the ideal situation. And in this, the Queen of Cups just jumped out here. So this is the ideal love situation. It is the ideal situation of you being connected with your spirit, your higher self, your soul, your intuition. I wanted to ask, what is it exactly that you are needing to change? And wow, it has to do with you speaking your truth. Letting the cat out of the bag, Virgo. It has to do with you speaking your truth. Throat chakra stuff. So I want to ask Lenormand a little bit more about happening now and into the near future, and then also your trajectory. So let's see. Virgo, happening now and into the near future. And this has to do with some great stability, you being protected and experiencing great stability around you. This can, again, be in work, but it can also be in a relationship. I want to look at the trajectory. The trajectory is talking about receiving some kind of written documentation, getting some, I just heard legal advice. That's not what that card is, but that's what I heard. And there's also great luck coming to you in the trajectory. So receiving some sort of written news or documents pertaining to luck, things going your way, things opening up, opening your heart chakra to receive. Talk about opening to receive, and then you receive. This is happening now and into the near future, creating this stability by really recognizing how protected you are. I'm asking your higher self what's going on. Okay, so your higher self is showing some little birdies here. The little birdies are great. They're messengers. They have lots of information to give you. However, they can be giving you information, and it's not ill will. It's just everybody's got their opinion about everything. That's why it's important to go with your own intuition. So listen to everybody's opinions, get all the information, but then go with what resonates with you. I want to know too what your angels and guides want to say with Lenormand here. And they are talking about the mountain. So the mountain is talking about obstacles. They're talking to you about, I believe it's the obstacles that you're creating, because here you have the wall and you're feeling skeptical about change. And then here is the mountain. The mountain, it's actually obstacles that you do overcome, but it's also, it feels like a challenge. And so your angels and guides are still talking to you about how change is a challenge. Interesting, interesting. Okay, a couple more things I want to do. I want to pull some Magpie Oracle first. At the heart of the situation, which is totally talking about change. Wow, okay. So you get the needle and this little hook. It's like a fish hook. So it's like you've been got, you've been caught. And this is you mending from it, which is interesting. This has caught you. I even hear caught you by surprise. What? I need to change some things? It's not working? It's caught you by surprise somehow. But then there's definitely some mending that needs to be done. It's almost like, this is so gross, but I'm gonna say it anyway. It's like when a fish is caught and like the thing is ripped a little bit, like their mouth is ripped from the hook. And then they get thrown back, but then they have to mend from it. It's like there's some kind of something that happened that caught you off guard, caught you by surprise, but like hooked you. But now you're mending from it. Part of the mending from it, though, has to do with the great change. These are the cards I wanted to use for the Oracle. So these are the Fairy Oracle. And I want to ask the Fairy Oracle for Virgo this October 2020. What is it? What is it? What do you need to know for October, Virgo? Express your individuality. Allow your true self to shine because you're awesome. I love these. That's fabulous. I absolutely love that fairy on there with her red hat. Expressing your individuality. So there is definitely some expressing that looks like it needs to be happening, Virgo, for October. Expressing. I'm going to pull one more. Not that one. Okay. And this is healing, healed, healer. Healing energy surrounds you and the situation. Pretty. This also wanted to come out. Do some research. You need more information about the situation. Look into it further before proceeding. I would definitely agree with that. There are definitely some changes that need to happen. Has to do with expressing yourself, letting the cat out of the bag, for sure. It has to do with getting in touch and in tune with your own intuition and finally expressing yourself once you know how you want to proceed forward. So doing some research. So maybe that is getting some information from the friends or anyone else who has words or knowledge about this. YouTube knows everything. Getting information about these things, but then making your own decision in the end before you speak about it. Also, you know, with this whole hook thing, it also feels like there's something that needs to be healed with something that you have said in the past. Maybe even some way that you said you were going to go and you're changing your mind now. That's okay. You can change your mind. It's all right. You have divine permission to change your mind, and that divine permission comes from you and your higher self. So there you have it, Virgo. I hope this was helpful. I'm looking forward to your mid-month, and have a wonderful rest of your October.